What is going on, and welcome back. We've got no time to waste. We're gonna fire through the top 20 essential tips that I wish I knew a lot sooner while playing Marvel Snap. Whether you just downloaded the game, maybe you're a new player, or you've been playing for a long time, these tips are definitely going to help you as you progress throughout the game. To kick this list off, let's talk about the cards. It is a card game after all, and if you want to unlock more of these bad boys, you're going to have to understand the pool system. Card unlocks are divided into 3 different pools. You'll have to finish collecting all of the cards in your current pool before you can move on to the next one. And for a quick reference, these are all the cards in each of the pools, and you can find this image in the description below. So winning in Marvel Snap is quite simple. You win the most locations, you win the game. However, if you're both tied for that number, it's going to look at the highest power across all locations. Now, in rare circumstances that's also tied, it'll end in a draw. Be sure to pay attention to the order that you play your cards. Abilities matter massively the way they're played out. For example, in this clip, you can see that Thor's hammer is played followed by Odin, leading to a supercharged Thor. Now you play this in reverse and you're going to lose all of that sweet bonus power, giving yourself a lot less of a chance to win the game. Let's talk turn initiative, or who shows their cards first. Now, this is really important in Marvel Snap because a lot of cards play off other cards, and you want to make sure you're paying attention to this. You can see who's going to go first by the glowing part around their name. This is decided by a coin flip at the beginning of the game, and then is decided by who is winning the most locations. Now, just like winning, if that amount is tied, it'll look at highest total power to decide who goes first. Now, you may have heard this tip before, but you want to play with as many cards as possible when you are a newer player. Put your favorite cards amongst different decks, but then you want to fill those in with some great common cards, because you're going to supercharge your path to success for unlocking other cards by simply upgrading these for 25 credits. The more you upgrade one card, the more it costs, and the less bang for buck that you get. However, for tip number 6, if you want to go ahead and target one card that you want to specifically upgrade, you actually don't want to upgrade it at all. Now, hear me out. You want to leave it at a gray border, because cards with these gray borders are targeted for extra boosters that you win at the end of the match. Now, usually boosters are going to be randomized for the different cards in your deck, but if you do have one lower common card amongst other upgraded cards, you're going to find out that that card gets a lot of the boosters and you can take it up really quickly all at once. Marvel Snap is pretty free to play friendly. However, if you want to boost up the amount of cards that you're getting or supercharge the rate that you unlock them, you want to go ahead and spin the gold, which is the paid for currency, or the currency that you earn very little of, on refreshing your mission refills. Now, this could change over time, but right now, the best bang for your buck is using this to unlock and refill your missions. You're going to go ahead and complete these missions, earning these little weekly challenges, and it goes very quickly, and you can get yourself a lot of different resources as you do this. For tip number 8, learn locations. The locations in Marvel Snaps are almost as viable as the cards themselves, and depending on the location, it can massively change up the game and the deck that you're running, so you want to learn them as best as possible to see which ones work for your deck and which ones you want to avoid. Another tip that's focused on locations are featured hot locations that you can see here, like Sinister London. Every Sunday, depending on your time zone, we're going to have hot locations of previous old locations. And every Wednesday and Thursday, we're going to get brand new locations that dramatically change up the way the game is played. So pay extra attention to your deck, because these locations will have about a 40% chance to appear each game, and you're going to want to adjust your deck accordingly. Winners never quit is what a bad Snap player would tell you. Look, guys, retreating is a natural part of Marvel Snap, and it is actually very important to learn when to retreat and obviously when to snap in order to grow the ranks. Don't get so focused and caught up on one game. They're quick, they come by fast and often, and a new game is just 2 taps away. So if you get bad RNG, or your starting hand is just garbage and the guy's snapping to begin the game, go ahead and retreat. As for tip number 11, I want to suggest use third-party websites. Now, I'm not sponsored or anything by any of these, but I find Snap.fan or even Marvel Snap Zone are both really good websites. If you're looking for decks, if you're looking for future cards that are coming out, if you're trying to focus on one card and you want a cool variant, you can go and look at all the variant options and focus on that one card, or do a lot of research. They can come in pretty handy. I'll put them in the description. Every single month in Marvel Snap, we get a new season pass with a specific theme or focus that come with some new cards and variants. Now, Whether you don't want to get the season pass or you can't, no worries, because the specific special card within the season pass will be made available after 2 other seasons or 2 other season passes have gone by. However, if you do want to get the season pass, I suggest just buying the base model. Don't buy any boosters. You're going to naturally get a ton of season XP through missions, playing the game, and these season catch rewards don't have anything amazing to warrant the money spent for the extra boosters. Play the game and you'll level up easy. As for the next tip, guys, do not sweat not getting meta cards. Look, there are so many decks, so many cards that can win in this game. With the variety of different locations, the meta is constantly changing and you'll eventually unlock that card. Focus on the ones that you do have and focus on doing the best you can with the deck that you have access to. For tip number 15, I want you guys to learn as many decks as possible. The more decks you learn, just like Heroes and like Overwatch, you're going to do a much better job countering those decks when you come across them. The big main decks are going to be move decks, destroy decks, you have discard decks. On reveal and ongoing is what you're going to run across the most at the beginning of your Marvel Snap playing. But again, the more decks that you know, you're going to be able to play against them a lot better. And the sooner you find out what they're playing, the easier it is to win. So are you having a hard time finding certain cards when building your deck? I want to go ahead and give this tip that I kind of wish I knew was there a lot sooner. You can actually organize your cards quite simple outside of the default energy sort that is on there. Now, if you click on this little tab down here, you can sort your cards by a number of different options, like by name, you can sort them by power, and the best of all, you can sort it by recent to find your new unlock cards, or you can go ahead and go to upgradable to have a quick glance of all the cards that you can upgrade to get that collection level boosted. So while we're on this screen, let's go ahead and talk about tip number 17, and that is all the customizable options you can do for your deck and deck management. You can go to the hamburger icon when you click on a deck, and there's a lot of options here. You can obviously delete them, rename them, change the card back, but you can also share the deck. Now, what's cool about this is if you want to change up a couple of cards in your deck, but not ruin the entire deck, just in case you forget, you can go ahead and paste this deck right next to it, change a couple of options, or you can grab decks from online, copy the code, and put it right in your game. Super convenient. Tip number 18, generally speaking, you want to avoid cards with no abilities. Now, there's a lot of great, cool heroes that just, they got the shaft. And let me tell you, I'm still pissed that Cyclops is as bad as he is within the game. But early on, these cards are just not going to have the value that ability cards have. But later on throughout your journey, you can unlock a card called Patriot that can definitely boost these guys up. But for the time being, I would avoid the lower cost cards with no abilities. Tip number 19, I put way down here. Plenty of people have said it before, but make sure you claim your free credits. You can get 350 free credits a week, and then you get all the ones from your mission, but it's really easy. Scroll past the tempting offers of variants and upgrading your cards and just go for the free credits. So that brings us to our last tip. Hopefully you guys found a tip or even multiple tips that are going to help you in your Marvel Snap journey. If you guys want to help me out as a creator, you can go ahead and use the last tip, which is subscribe to Cozy Snap. Guys, over 80% of you guys are not subscribed, and it would help massively get more of these guides, graphics, and most importantly, a fun Snap community out there. My goal is to have a fun group of people because after all, gaming is great, but it's so much fun with others. You can also find me playing Marvel Snap live on Twitch. I think these games are great, but they're all about community because it's a ton of fun showing and sharing what you've unlocked or who you have. So if you want to be part of a Marvel Snap community, I will see you in the Discord or on the Twitch channel. Again, guys, like the video if you haven't, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video.